The data analyst. Data analysts are responsible for building data models which facilitate analysis and visualization. The data analyst's role can be broken down into 4 general tasks. The first of these is ETL, or extract, transform, and load. If there's anything that's always true about our data, it's that it's never quite in the format that we want it. Importing, transforming, and moving data is known as ETL, and for a data analyst, this can involve sourcing data from Excel, CSV files, and databases. The data is then transformed into a better layout before loading into a model. The next task is to create models with that data. The models we create often bring together data from 2 different sources or tables. For example, we might have a transactions table and a product table. By connecting these tables, we're effectively creating a data model. We'll look more at that later. Importing the data and setting up the model can be a lengthy process, so data analysts will set up automated refreshes which can be used at the click of a button. The third task is to calculate the metrics that allow us to measure business performance. As we all know, formulas can be complex and depend on how our data is structured. It's important for a data analyst to understand exactly how the data is put together. Finally, data analysts will document everything they've done. Documentation falls into 2 categories. First, the model itself needs to be documented to help other analysts understand the data sources and the data model. Second, we need to ensure that the business users interpret models and metrics in a consistent manner. A data dictionary, in this case, will provide that clarity. Let's take a quick look at the tools that a data analyst uses most frequently. Then I'll show you a quick demo of the ones most widely used by BI professionals. In the past, data analysts have generally used Excel and VBA to complete their work. Excel is still the most widely used analysis tool in business, whilst VBA is a simple coding language that helps enhance the functionality of Excel either with macros or custom-built functions. There are 2 primary tools that data analysts rely on for data transformation. These are Power Query and SQL. Power Query is going to be a game changer for your transformations. It's an add-on for most versions of Microsoft Excel and can integrate seamlessly with your current reports. Gone are the days of manually copy-pasting and rearranging data each week for your regular reports. Power Query is so easy to learn and will save you hours and hours of time. SQL is a query language that helps you request data in a particular format from a database. We'll look at an example in a second. It's surprisingly not that difficult to learn and will dramatically improve your understanding of where your data is coming from. In order to combine data from different sources and perform analysis, data analysts use 3 key tools: Tableau, Power Pivot, and Power BI. Tableau is primarily known for its world-class visualizations. But in order to create those visuals, it also includes functionality to create metrics, join data from multiple sources, and even create a data model. Power BI is the most widely used analysis and visualization tool on the market. It might not quite have the same level of visuals as Tableau, but it lacks nothing in analytical power for the average user. Again, in Power BI, we can create data models, metrics, and interactive dashboards. It uses a formula language called DAX, which will be very familiar to Excel users. Power Pivot is an add-on for Excel. It brings the DAX formula language and the data model capabilities right into the heart of your Excel workbooks. If you work with Excel, Power Pivot is an absolute must. Finally, Qlik is another popular analysis and visualization tool, whilst R and Python are both coding languages that are used by some analysts to create more complex analyses. Now I want to show you a quick demo of the most popular tools. Power Query will revolutionize the way you use Microsoft Excel. Its main purpose is to easily automate data transformation so that your data is always in a great format. It's going to save you literally hours of time. If you've ever downloaded data from an internal company system, you'll know that the format isn't always the most helpful for analysis. So in this example, we've got useless header rows and we've got blank columns within our date range. With Power Query, you can easily fix these layout problems or even automatically combine the contents of several files within the same folder into one clean table of data. Power Query really is an essential part of the modern Excel environment. And not only that, but this Power Query interface is used both in Excel and Power BI. So once you've learned Power Query, you're already halfway to understanding how to use Power BI. Power Pivot brings business intelligence and analysis capabilities into the heart of Microsoft Excel. The key benefits over your current analysis are that you can create pivot tables that combine multiple sources. There's no restrictions on data rows, so you're not limited to 1,000,000 rows anymore. By using Power Pivot, we eliminate intensive lookups. No more writing VLOOKUPs over 20,000 rows that can potentially crash your files. Finally, Power Pivot lets us do powerful time period comparison functions. So we can easily compare sales to the same period last year or to last month, for example. And we can do all of this with very simple formulas that don't need to be updated. Power Pivot lets us import multiple tables of related data. Once we've done that, we can link those tables up using relationships. Relationships allow us to source related information from other tables. For example, in our main table here, we have sales by product, but we only have a product ID. In our product table, we show product names. So this relationship allows us to pull more information about each product into our analysis. And we do all of this without a single VLOOKUP. With simple formulas, we can also create metrics to calculate year-over-year sales growth or margin growth. With Power Pivot, we can now create this complex analysis where we can slice and dice using data from different tables. If you're using Excel for your analysis, you really should learn Power Pivot to take your analysis skills to the next level. SQL is a query language used to fetch data from a database. SQL stands for Structured Query Language. It's designed to be easy to read and write. An understanding of SQL will set you apart from dashboard-focused BI analysts, as SQL really does help you to understand the building blocks of data. SQL ties many business intelligence tools together, and it can be used in several different environments, from Azure Data Studio to directly inside Excel, or from within Power BI. SQL may not be the most visually exciting tool to work with, but there's no doubt that it's the most powerful tool for moving and transforming data. It's a universal language used by data engineers, analysts in BI, right through to data scientists at the other end of the spectrum. Databases are often constructed with many different tables of data, and SQL allows us to join those together into one query to return a number of columns. SQL uses a number of keywords that you see here in blue to make the code easier to write. Here we're selecting the desired columns from a given table, and we're joining that data to these other tables. We can limit the data that's returned by saying only give me rows where a certain condition is true, and then group those values by something or order them by something else. This is only the beginning of what SQL can do, but be in no doubt that SQL is the tool you should learn if you want to really understand the structure of your data and how that impacts the analysis you'll be doing. I'm sure you'll agree that these tools that we've just seen have the ability to revolutionize the way you transform data and do your analysis. At this point in our journey, our data analyst has sourced the data needed for our projects, created data models, and calculated the metrics most valuable to our business. It's now over to the data visualization specialist to turn those metrics and data into a powerful visual story.